Good morning! Welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon, and today I'm taking you along into my side yard because I am going to be working on extending this side yard flower bed to create a brand new garden bed. You know, we all have these areas of our garden that are trouble areas or just get overgrown and we overlook them. Side yards are often subject to that, and this side yard definitely was no exception. Before last year, this side yard kind of just it always got completely overgrown, full of weeds and vines, and just kind of didn't know what to do with it. And I really started getting into gardening, and so it was last year that my husband kind of mowed down all of our vines and weeds that were back here, and I created a brand new garden bed that you're looking at, but I did it the hard way. Today I'm going to try to extend this garden bed and do it a little bit smarter, and I'll tell you what that will be. But to create this garden bed, after the weeds were all taken care of and down, I kind of came in here and completely dug it all up, like 8 inches or so. And I dug it all up, took out all the weed roots and vine roots that I could, and then I added compost. Like I tried to do a mixture of 50-50 compost and soil, the existing soil, the clay and whatever, the sand, and I mixed that all up, and then I added this pine bark mulch over the top of it, and then I started adding plants. And so the first plants to go in were actually these hydrangeas, Hydrangea macrophylla. I have a vision of these hydrangeas creating a hydrangea hedge back here, and I planted them last year. They were little. They were a little smaller than this. This one hasn't grown as much, but they've grown pretty well. Like you can see, this one has grown, I think, the most out of all of them. It's also the one that hasn't flowered this year or hasn't bloomed, but that's okay. Anyway, eventually they will get big and they will form a hedge. And then after I planted these hydrangeas, I got to work on this garden bed, which it's really interesting because the hydrangeas, for the most part, are like these 4 hydrangeas are oh, excuse me, my HVAC just turned on. And that's just what we're gonna have to deal with this morning because that's where we're at. But this is a filtered shade spot in the side garden, and so these hydrangeas have done really well in the filtered shade. And then kind of starting about right here, we get more of a morning sun, afternoon shade. So this is kind of a part shade environment right here, I think. And this one has done really well. This one has not done as well. I think it's because it gets a lot of water right here. This is a waterbogged location because of my hose. It drips a little bit, so every time my hose is on, these plants in particular get a lot of water. And then these guys, this is more of a part sun location because it gets a lot more sun than the rest of the garden bed does, but still gets that afternoon shade. So, there are different microclimates within garden beds, and it really varies from like plant to plant. Like this is a wet, boggy location, part shade. This is part sun, I think, because it gets even more. And one of the reasons for that is because of this, beautiful white crepe myrtle. So that's what creates the filtered shade over here versus like the part sun / part shade environment that is on each side. So anyway, you gotta keep those things in mind when you're creating garden beds. Just really know how much sun that space is getting, how much water that space is getting, and then also what time of day it is getting sun and shade is really, really important when you're picking out your plants. I'm just gonna pick this weed really quick while I'm walking back here. Okay, so today we're actually focusing on this area right here. We're creating a brand new bed here. Okay, I waited until the HVAC had turned off so you didn't have to deal with that noise. So my husband Dave is coming in this morning, and he's going to be mowing all of this down. And then what I'm going to do is lay cardboard all the way over, and there's my husband, he's getting started. Okay. I'm going to lay some cardboard over this and then lay, like, I don't know, 4-5 inches of mulch. So that is called the no-dig method of creating a garden bed. And I think now is kind of the perfect time to do that. We'll leave it for a few months. The cardboard and the mulch will break down and they will suppress all of these weeds from coming back. And then by, spring, by late winter, early spring, I can start putting plants in the ground over here. And then, of course, mulch on top of those as well. And then I'll have to work pretty hard, next growing season to keep those weeds kind of suppressed. Like, this is kind of what I've been dealing with back here. Although, so already this is such an improvement. I haven't come back here too much to weed, just a little bit here and there, and it's really not that bad. I did a really thick layer of pine bark mulch over the top. So, but anyway, that first year you really have to make sure those weeds, go away. And so that's what we're working on. And here we are. My husband Dave came back here and just kind of whacked everything down. He even got the trees, or most of the trees that were back here. Although, these are going to keep growing because the stumps are so big. Again, please excuse the mess. This again is an area of our yard that has previously gone unmaintained, so there's a lot of work to be done, but that's kind of the point of this video, is to show you the before of the garden bed. We have a clean slate. I'm only going to be going up until our HVAC unit, and so really just from here on, I think this might be maybe 8 feet by 6 feet, or maybe even 10 feet by 6 feet, and this will be our garden bed. All right, so I got some free cardboard boxes, and I'm ready to break these down and kind of start. So someone in the neighborhood was just getting rid of a ton of Amazon boxes. Some of them are just regular cardboard boxes, and so I picked them up. I did some research beforehand. The Amazon boxes are almost fully biodegradable all by themselves. It's just regular variegated or corrugated cardboard. The ink that is used, most inks these days are soy-based, so as long as it's like a matte finish ink, it's okay. And then the tape is a paper tape. I'm just told that it takes a longer time to break down, so the Amazon tape is okay. However, if you have a box that has like the plastic moving tape, you've got to take that off. You don't want that plastic. And then the other things that are plastic are these like barcode labels, so you got to get those off. Any barcode labels, anything shiny labels, it's plastic. And I've filled this box with all of that that I've taken off of these boxes already. This box is an example of something that you cannot use for composting, for starting a new garden bed, anything like that. It has a plastic shiny coating on it, and that is not biodegradable. That plastic will stay in your compost, in your garden, and you don't want that. Plus, I'm not sure about the ink as well, so that one is no bueno. I cannot use that one. But the rest of these, I just had to get rid of all of the labels, any shiny labels. Again, there's yellow stickers too. These yellow stickers are on a lot of the Amazon boxes. Take those off, and then you should be good to go. Well, I'm losing light. It's getting towards the evening time, but I have the cardboard all laid down. I basically put it all down overlapping, so hopefully there's about 2 layers of cardboard, and then I put some stones around them. I only have 1 bag of mulch at this time. I'm going to have to pick up some more tomorrow, but that gives you an idea of what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to try to put a lot of layers of mulch. I may even pick up some compost as well, mix that all together so it degrades pretty quickly. So yay, here we are. Here is the finished product. I am so sorry about the HVAC noise, you guys. It is currently 104 degrees with the humidity. It feels like 108 degrees. It says we have excessive heat warning, so our HVAC is kind of not really shutting off right now in the late afternoon. So please excuse the noise. I do apologize, but I wanted to show you the finished product. I bought 5 bags of compost and 5 bags of pine bark nuggets, and I have laid them out here. A majority of my bed will be here, and then this I'm planning on just being a mulch walkway so that if we need to access our HVAC unit, we kind of have that access if we want. And so what I did is I put all 5 bags of compost down right here, and then I put 3 bags of the pine bark mulch right here for this walkway, and then 2 bags of pine bark mulch were kind of over the compost. So the compost is already broken down. It's ready to go. That cardboard is underneath it, which will block the light and hopefully suppress all of the weeds so that they will just die, I'm hoping. And this bed will be ready to plant in just a few months, I think. And let's see, that will put it in November. Let's see, we have August, September, October. Yeah, so that puts it in November, which is prime planting month, I think, if I can get them in before our first frost anyway, which is mid-November. And we can start this part shade bed. It is a lot of shade. Here we are in the late afternoon, and it's been in the shade since I calculated it. I've been checking it. It's been in the shade since about 2:15 in the afternoon, and it doesn't get sun until I think about 11:30. So it gets about 3 hours of sun from 11:30 a.m. to about 2:15 p.m. And so it is definitely a shade / part shade location. And I'm excited. I'm already planning and thinking about the plants that I want to put back there, and I will share that with you later. But here we go. This is the no-dig garden bed method, and I'm really excited. This is a lot less work than this garden bed was, that's for sure. Oh, one last thing. If you wanted to see, I didn't show you the process of putting down the compost or the mulch, but in case you were curious, I used Living Earth organic compost. I bought it at Lowe's. There were 5 bags of that, and then I used Timberline pine bark nuggets, and I used 5 bags of that. That's also what I used for this, what I have been using for this garden bed. So you can kind of see the results. I think things are growing really, really well. I hope you liked this video. I hope it's inspired you to create a new garden bed for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.